Hello there! Today I'll be showing you how a Cantonese family does glutinous rice dumpling in Singapore, also known as zhong in Cantonese. This video means a lot to me because these traditions are slowly dying and I'm thankful to be able to spend time together with my family. It is usually a laborious task like how Koreans gather to make kimchi, but we gather to make dumplings. Now let's start! What is zhong? Zhong is a glutinous rice dumpling that originated from southern part of China. And my maternal side great-grandparents come from Guangdong, and so we'll be doing the Cantonese version. So the Cantonese version of zhong has got pork, salted egg yolk, shiitake mushrooms, chestnuts, and sweet sausage, and other condiments like your fried onion, fried garlic, and fried seafood. Each family has their own recipe, and this is how my family likes it. Some may prefer lean meat, while some prefer without the sweet sausage, etc. It is really completely up to you and your family members. So, the most important ingredient of the zhong is the bamboo leaves. So, one zhong can take from around 1 to 3 leaves to wrap depending on the size and if there are any holes on the leaves. So, the leaf needs to be soaked and washed clean individually twice. As you can see here, my aunt is washing it with a new clean sponge and she has to do it twice. It took about 2 cycles and 2 different aunties to have all the leaves washed for 200 plus rice dumplings. And without them, we can't even start wrapping our dumplings. So thank you so much to my 2 aunties who put in so much backbreaking work to wash these leaves. Okay, so that was only just one part of the process. Now let's continue with the second most important ingredient in zhong. It is the rice. Yes, so for the rice, there are 2 ways to do it. My aunt that day, she wanted us to all go home with cooked zhong. So she helped to shorten the process by pre-cooking the rice first. So this is the first method. And then the second method, which if you're not in a hurry, you don't have to follow this pre-cooked method. You just have to mix all the ingredients that I mentioned later to get a very beautiful zhong as well. Here, my aunt warm up the pan first, then she adds in some chopped garlic and garlic oil into the pan. So she cook it till the garlic is a little bit cooked, and then she threw in glutinous rice that has been soaking overnight in water. So this cooking process will help to remove the water. Once you hear that the water sound has been reduced, throw in some braised soy sauce that was used to cook the pork, the chestnuts, and the dried shiitake mushrooms. Now, let me introduce you all the ingredients used to make this lovely little dumpling. So here we have prepared all the ingredients in advance. We have the dried scallops, which has been soaking in water overnight to soften them. Then there is this lapcheong, which is a Cantonese dried sausage, which we have chopped it up into thumb-sized pieces. Then we have the salted shrimp, which we have stir-fried in a wok to bring out its flavor. And next we have the fried shallots that my auntie did the day before. And next we have the salted egg yolk, which we have separated the egg white from the egg yolk. So look at that. Here is how my cousin is cutting the salted egg yolk into half using a string. Cool, right? Now to the last 3 ingredients we have is the stewed chestnut, mushroom, and pork. Also, if you haven't seen the video on how to braise pork, you can take a look at the video link down in my description below. My aunt used that very same recipe and she added bay leaf, cinnamon, star anise, and cloves. Now moving on to the hardest part, which is the wrapping part.
Many things in this world I can show ya. I'll show you this and that.
No, not that wrapping, but this wrapping. This part requires the most skills and experience. Now let me show you why. So here, my aunt is showing us how to wrap the dumpling. So you take 2 to 3 leaves and pile on top of one another. Then you fold one end of the leaves upwards till it is around 1/3 of it. Then we get some rice, half salted egg yolk, 1 piece of lapcheong, some dried scallops, crispy fried shallots, dried shrimp, mushroom, chestnuts, and lastly the pork. Then cover it up with rice again. Then you create a triangle shape by pressing the bottom part with your thumb and point finger. Next, you cover it up with the longer part of the leaves to close up the ingredients. And with the leftover leaves, you fold it into half and fold it down following the shape to create this nice triangular dumpling. Then my aunt has already prepared all these strings in advance to aid us in the tying process. Here, she holds the dumpling at a perpendicular angle against the string so that it is firm when she ties it. She gave it 2 rounds, then she tied a dead knot while pulling to tighten it. Now, this process has caused me to drop my zong twice because you really need to train. And once the zong has been tied, my aunt threw it into the pressure cooker and boiled it for 45 minutes. Now, if there is no pressure cooker, you can cook this for 1.5 to 2 hours. Now, remember I mentioned that the original rice is not cooked. If you wrap with raw rice, cook it in a pressure cooker for 1 hour. And if you're regular boiling it without the use of pressure cooker, it can take up to 2 to 3 hours for your rice to be fully cooked all the way through. So it's been around 45 minutes. My auntie has removed it from the pot and she hang dry at the window to allow the excess water to drip. And now, finally, everyone's favorite time. It's taste test time. Now let's remove the leaves and I'll show you what is inside. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, so let me describe the taste to you. It tasted like my childhood. So the rice was sticky and it was savory because of the garlic and the soya sauce. And then you have this firm but crumbly salted egg yolk. Then the chestnut added a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of interesting texture to it. And then the sweet and savory taste from the lapchong. And lastly, this super rich, tender, melt in your mouth pork. So to wrap things up, here's my reflections on wrapping zong. I think it was a fun experience that made me realize how much work our grandparents and ancestors did for their family when it came to cooking. Now, each ingredient were treated with love before forming this dish. Also, because it is so labor intensive and it took more than 6 hours to finish making 200 over zong, I think the future generations will miss out on the traditional dishes because of how laborious it is. I don't know how long before all our foods turn into instant dishes, given how fast-paced our society is becoming. I'm just thankful for my aunties who organized this day for my cousins and I. If this dish resonates with you too, hit the thumbs up and subscribe button to my channel for more food made from scratch.
Part is the folding. This part is the fun part. Don't not so much.
Oh!
That was very